So tell me about this. So this is a 5-gauge
cluster.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me each of them, and then we did a little bit of a modification. So
yep.
Tell me about.
From left to right,
okay.
On this gauge cluster we have our fuel tank level.
Okay.
This here is the oil tank level, because this car has a dry sump. There's a sensor in the remote oil tank that's in the rear passenger fender. Okay. And as the car warms up, you'll see that gauge start to creep up as the oil expands, as everything starts to warm up.
Okay.
And then in this gauge, we've got oil temperature.
What is the operating oil temperature should be?
Well, you'd like to keep it below, well, see, this is in Fahrenheit because this is an American car, but you'd like to keep your oil below 90, 100 Celsius, preferably.
So that's 100 Celsius, about 212?
Yeah, so anything, but again, it all depends on driving conditions and the outside ambient weather. It also, this car, we'll see what it does once we start putting some mileage on it, where it's going to hover, but we will probably be adding an oil cooler to this engine due to the fact that we've added some, we've made the engine flow better, and there's a power improvement from there. Okay. This light here is your generator, i.e. the alternator. It will light up if your car's not charging. Oil pressure light. And then the B is actually your parking brake. So as I release the parking brake, it stops flashing, and then it flashes when your parking brake's on. Okay. All right.
No, there's another
and then oil pressure.
Okay.
So, obviously as I rev the motor up, it's still a bit cold, but that's your oil pressure. And it'll usually hover around 60 as you're cruising down the road, maybe 50, 40. I believe this is in bar, but don't quote me on it. I don't remember what units this one's in, because this being an American car, I believe the units are not, but don't quote me on it, as I don't remember. This is our TAC, and the center is your high beam light, and then our speedometer, miles per hour, and then our O2 sensor.
Okay, so tell what it used to be there.
So in this spot, there used to be the clock.
So my clock is working, but since we all have phones and all those things, we don't need the clock.
Really, I mean...
And when you're driving a Porsche, who cares about the time?
People will wait for you. You're not in a rush for anybody else. So we took the clock out, and I quickly designed this bezel to fit a standard style gauge, and then we have an O2 sensor in there. Right now, the O2 sensor seems to be acting up a little bit and erratic. So right now it's showing a lean mode. It's in the fail-safe mode right now. We're still trying to troubleshoot that. I suspect that maybe the gauge is defective.
Can you turn it off and turn it back on again? So that might that might work. Okay. So
you'll see it probably will go to lean right away because it's already warmed up. So what happens is it starts at 14.6, and as the sensor warms up, it just keeps on counting higher and higher and higher until it goes 3 dashes, which is a fail-safe mode. So the reason it does that is if there's any sort of malfunction with the gauge. Oh, you're out of focus there. There you go. If there's any malfunction with the gauge, and you're using a wideband sensor for your ECU feedback, this going full lean will actually trick the ECU into going a full rich mode, which will technically save the motor, because a full rich is safer than a full lean on a race engine or when you're driving it hard. So that's why these do that when there's an error or a fault or something's going on. So yeah,
awesome, good. So
we're gonna go for a test drive now.
Yeah, we are going for a test drive. This is the first time I'm been in my car, so let's see.
Yeah.